Hey guys, what's going on? What you're seeing here is going to be both races that you're going to be seeing on here, both as highlight races. So you'll get to see the highlights of both races. Now, I want to warn you though, for those who want to see the main race, this is the first race you're about to see is the lights race that took place, which is the one that I was in. If you want to skip just to the main, I'll put in the description down below where to go, and you can follow the main race. By the way, also I want to make one note on the main race as well, is that I was able to fill in for Zach Buchanan in this race, so whoever was Zach Buchanan was me. Just to be clear about what's going on, and I hope you guys enjoy the races. Other than that, I'll see you guys also for the next race, which will be at Bristol, hopefully. And if not, someone else will be posting. Until then, I will see you guys later. Enjoy the races. Welcome, guys, to the lights race here of the Indianapolis race here for NNSCRA Icebreakers Online Series. We're going to show you our starting lineup for the field here, as you're going to see some of the trucks going by. Dylan Poteet was your pole sitter for today's race. Jessica Sheldon started second. Seth Cole started third. Fourth was Danny Wells. Fifth was Joshua Collard. Sixth was Johnny Gardner. Seventh was Levi McIntyre. Eighth was Machine Guns. Ninth was Charles Sanford. Completing the top 10 was James Silverfox. 11th was Bob Jones. 12th was Dylan Young, I believe. Or actually, the order was actually kind of all messed up because of how the order was. But Pace truck dives on the pit road, and you can see who was in the lights field, as we were here for 40 laps of action, and the green flag was out here. Dylan Poteet had a really strong truck today, was really well in the qualifying. Jessica Sheldon, our winner from Kentucky, trying to show her dominance in there, as the green flag was out. He was trying to use the outside line to get an advantage, and the outside line, what a lot of people have been saying, has been having some really good advantage, as Danny Wells right there in the 32 had been balancing internet issues throughout this race, as you could tell there. As Poteet was trying to lead, one car was hitting the wall, and that was Joshua Collard in the 10 truck. Sheldon would get the lead in the high line right there with Danny Wells, Dylan Poteet's teammate, trying to follow as well. And you could see right there, Sheldon was having a really strong truck, you could tell easily there. One thing about this track, a lot of people, as you could see, is Wells is blinking like crazy there, and Stephen Pollard, the third, was working, was that the outside line was there, and whoa! One truck sled, that was Silverfox, he hit the wall. That was one spin right there. Easy enough there. It was simple that it was going to be a matter of who was going to be able to hang on this track and who was not. But another wreck took place right there, as you could see. Levi McIntyre, Stephen Pollard the third. That was easily a three-truck incident, as well as Joshua Collard. Charles Jackson got involved right there. Let's take one more look in this incident. Looking at it from a slow-mo view, Joshua Collard had been dealing with a loose truck all day long, got loose off the turn. Stephen Pollard III, nowhere to go in the 72, and then easily collects Levi McIntyre. James Silverfox barely misses that one there, even though he does get clipped right there, and goes into the wall, and Charles Jackson tried to avoid the wreck, but his truck slid and hit the wall in the inside. A hard hit there. Also got into Levi McIntyre in the 99. Not a good day for Jackson. He was stuck in the back throughout most of the race right there. And crazy deal there. Then the caution to come out and all that deal. But we were unaware of something else that happened to Collard and Stephen Pollard III. Also Johnny Gardner going around. James Silverfox going on by right there. But Pollard also got into Joshua Collard right there. That was just not a smart move by Pollard III. I don't know what happened there. Just an odd incident right there. But nonetheless, though. Also Johnny Gardner went around. I don't know what happened in the 92, but Dylan Poteet led him down to the first caution of the race there, and I believe there was an incident that happened, though, from that moment, and I believe it is the case, as the top five was Poteet, Shelton, Wells, Cole, and Sanford. Right there, Young tried to woe up, gets into Bob Jones. Young woes up mostly, though, couldn't avoid it. Levin gets the wall. Luckily left, there's no damage. 84 managed to keep going, though, as this race was far from over. Pit stops immediately would come on lap number 3 on that caution, wondering how the tire wear was going to be a major issue throughout this race. Undoubtedly, everyone was willing to pit, except for one driver, and that was Johnny Gardner. Made the risk a stand out, and pit road speed was 55 miles an hour, and some people were getting penalized for pit road speeding throughout this race. You'll probably see a few of them at this time. But pretty much everyone was down, but Gardner's mentioned. Pollard III made an earlier pit stop, but he was tail end. As you can see, these drivers were trying to make the best stop possible, as I just went out of it for some apparent reason. Then you see Bob Jones and Machine Guns. I don't know why they would get out of there, but yeah, then the trucks would barely pull in the pit road and make their stops. You can see some people were making different strategies when they were making their pit stops. So we were wondering what strategy to take. Some people were taking 2 tires throughout this race. Some people were taking 4. Some people were taking gas and go. But you can see there, whoa, a little contact right there between the 18 and 11. They keep going, though. There's the Joe Gibbs Racing guys. Little contact in pit road between Bob and Sanford, but they managed to keep going, though. So we didn't know what would happen throughout this race, but eventually we did, as the leader at the time was Johnny Gardner, and who knows what would happen with Gardner if the restarts with him go well. So we'll take you back to the green. Being that it's a lights race, not a lot of people can know if it was going to be a wreck fest or a bore fest, but you never know what can happen. Johnny Gardner elected to go on restart in the high line. Where they went and go back to green was the pit road line there. St. Paul III had a little problem there, but he managed to get back going. Green flag was back out right there. Gardner had a not bad start, calling it right there. Silver Fox got a little bit in the not get going right there, but Poteet managed to move out of the way. But you can tell the way how these guys were racing, though, it was going to be a rather interesting one. Collard had a little bit of a problem right there, but managed to fix it there. One thing, too, about this track is that these guys, I don't know what happened, but if they qualified, someone had to back out, and it was not a good situation. Right there, Gardner was still lean right there, but then Poteet decided to go 3 wide, sticking it in the inside there. Silver Fox being on the high line right there. Sheldon was pushing Silver Fox right there in the 98, but Poteet wisely going to back out of that situation. Jessica Sheldon, little contact right there. Guns also around, and we got a big wreck right there. Oh, and then Guns, McIntyre, Jackson, Pollard the third. Pollard sliding right there. It was a wild incident right there. Johnny Gardner was going to lead the down until Silver Fox got a great run, and then, oh, barely. They gave it to the 92, just barely. You want to know how close? Give it .02 at the line, a tie for second right there. That was how close it was. Knowing the aftermath of this incident, we had to keep an eye on these guys after the cautions. As you could tell, Guns was having a lot of trouble immediately going down the pit road. Jackson, Poteet also involved in that wreck, which was sad. He was having such a strong truck right there. But it looked like these guys were going to be all good to go. And once again, these guys pitted as well. As you can tell, not everyone pitted, but some drivers did. One of them being James Silverfox in the 98 truck. He had been battling such an impressive truck, but needed some adjustments. As you could tell, Danny Wells continued to blink right there. Jessica Sheldon also went down. Same for Levi McIntyre, Stephen Pollard III, Dylan Poteet, and Charles Jackson. They all went down to pit road. Pollard, Cole, Young, Jones, Sanford, and Gardner stayed out on the track, and it was a not bad move by Gardner. He had a not bad day and made some interesting calls on staying out and as well as pit strategy. Once they were bumping each other and all that, and everyone was catching back up on the field, the order was Gardner, Sanford at the restart, Jones, Young, Cole, Pollard, Guns, Poteet, Shelton, Silverfox, Wells, McIntyre, Pollard III, and Jackson. It was a crazy-looking race. 92 had not bad of a start, but the 18 got a much better start. 3 wide right there. Seth Cole had a very good start. And look at this, 3 wide off turn number 1. That shows how sometimes trucks get a really good run. Gardner did not get a good start at all. Him and Collard both slapped the wall, as well as Pollard III. Poteet was battling with the 84 right there for position. Poteet, like I said from before, had a really strong truck in this race. Collard slapped the wall right there. Out between teammates right there. Actually, all 3 teammates working together. Charles Sanford, Seth Cole, and Bob Jones. Bob making the issue big, going 3 wide in turn number 3. That was not a good thing. Sanford goes into Seth Cole, and then a trouble right there. Guns also around. Pollard III. Sanford Cole upside down goes to 20. Joshua Collard also involved yet again. Seth and Sanford really in the bad thing. They were not communicating very well. Let's take another look at that incident going into that moment. But man, trouble right there. But Dylan Poteet let them down before we actually show you back again. Oh, 18 went around again. Then Levi McIntyre almost plowed into the 11 right there. That was a close call right there. But just these guys were struggling to not make a move there. And that was just a bad call by 3 teammates. Let's take a look at that incident again. What the problem was there was that they went 3 wide, and watch what happened in the entry of 3. Sanford and Jones kind of slid into each other. Sanford makes contact into Seth right there. Jones went into Sanford. Seth hits the wall, saves it, but then the truck goes around right there. There's 2 trucks. Guns goes right into the 20. That makes it 3. That was when the caution was pulled right there. Pollard the third had a loose truck right there. Then 2 teammates. I don't know what the fuck happened there, but they got into each other. Pollard the third also went around right there. He just lost it. Same for the 10 and the 10 truck to Collard, and I thought it was another truck right there. The 6 as well, but he managed to save it and keep going. Good save right there. Not a good move by teammates right there. Like I mentioned, because of the time where the trucks managed to make another pit stop right here, and they were very careful, but Young managed to make a bold move, did a nice peak pit, managed to stay out on track, and get this though, reached probably his second ever lap in the IBOS lights. I believe that was. It was second or third. Also staying out was Guns and Seth Cole. Not bad strategy by the 84 to stay out, but also 2 other trucks stayed out. Pote, Shelton, Silverfox, Gardner, McIntyre, Collard, Wells, Pollard the third, Sanford, Jones, and Jackson all pitted on that time. And very bold move by some trucks of staying up. How well will it pay off? Unaware of when we were going to go back to green or not, but they did manage to catch back up. All the trucks that managed to pit managed to catch up. It was a very close call, but the 84 restarted as a leader, started on the inside rather than the outside. It was a rather interesting move. The 84 truck had a really strong truck on the inside line rather than the high line. And at the restart line, Young got a good jumpish. Guns didn't. I guess it's hard to say. I guess the 84 kind of jumped it, kind of made a bad call on it, but it would not pay off. The 20 truck had a really strong run coming into turn number 1 right there. Was all over the 84's bumper, made the move to the inside for the lead, did the Kraft Mac and Cheese Toyota Camry right there. Or Toyota Tundra, rather, my bad, excuse me. 84 was trying to battle on the high line there, trying to make sure the 20 didn't get the lead there. Whoa, the 84 got loose right there. 9 truck of Jessica Shelton in the Chevy Silverado managed to help Seth Cole get the lead. Guns was helping the 84 right there. But then eventually here coming in the 3, which has been the huge trouble for a lot of these drivers, 84 trying not to get in the wall right there. Another truck that did was the 32 of Wells. He had been battling such a terrible truck all night long, especially with a laggy connection, was the 32. He managed to just try to salvage what he can get right there. Made it through a clean lap right there. Finally, Seth Cole managed to lead the lap right there as we were on lap 11 of 40. Almost just said 12 there. Now it's 12 actually. Okay, I'm failing. Jessica Shelton went to the inside for the lead, managed to get that. Out between Silverfox and McIntyre, trouble Gardner around in the 92. Flat out lost it. But a good save though by the 92. One truck deal, and then another one there. Dylan Pote went around. Jackson barely missed that one right there. That was 2 trucks right there. Good miss right there. Pote managed to keep going right there. But everyone wondering when will be that 3rd truck around. 3 wide managed to pack between by the 20 right there. And McIntyre gets into Seth. McIntyre saves the truck right there. Almost the 3rd truck right there. But man, a lot of close calls right there. You could tell these guys, they were battling with either loose trucks or tight trucks. Jessica Shelton managed to lead that lap right there as we were into lap 13. But a crazy race, though, nonetheless to say. And it was going to be one to talk about there. And then it got really tight, and then Josh McCollard got turned, Jackson returned. There's when the caution came out. Jackson, once again getting involved. Both Jackson and Collard been managing to really get involved in a lot of the wrecks. Trying to avoid it, but just been battling with loose trucks all race long. It had been not a good run for those 2 right there. Coming to the line, though, you can tell most of these guys were single file. Jessica Shelton managed easily to take the lead there. Silverfox was in second. Young was trying to hang on for the 3rd spot, but managed to slap the wall. Was trying to hang on from Guns, and easily you could tell Young was going to probably lose it, but he managed to hang on. Silverfox tried to get a good run, trying to use the inside line. Shelton easily let it down, and then Young barely led over for 3rd. Close call between the 5th spot between Jones and Sanford, but Jones led them down. And it had been such a beginning of what would be a crazy race. Young had to hit the brakes and not plow into the 98 of Silverfox. And good move right there. seeing who would come down this time. A lot of leaders did. Bob Jones managed to do a fake pit as well. He managed to stay out as well as Pollard the third. Johnny Gardner again. He managed to make some great pit strategy there. Joshua Collard as well staying out, which was a very odd decision by the 10, but knowing of how loose of a truck he's had, managed to stay out. Jessica Sheldon, Silver Fox, Young, Guns, who made a little contact with him on pit road trying to get in. Sanford, Levi McIntyre, and Dylan Pote also went down, as well as Seth Cole and Charles Jackson. And then a trouble right there. Pollard the third went around. I don't know what happened to him. We'll take a look at that right now. We'll talk about odd incidents for an online race. Bob Jones just randomly lost the truck, goes into Pollard the third, glitches, gets Bob Jones airborne right there. And you talk about weird things. I mean, this is just an example of what can happen in an online league race right there. Pollard the third was upside down. He could have been towed and lost the spot. But thankfully, Bob, though, was an amazing saving grace right there. Manages to push the 72 and get him back on four wheels. And you talk about odd incidents. That sets an example right there. And, you know, online league races, you got to make sure. Sometimes you got to have a buddy right there to help you out. And good lucky break for Pollard the third, though. He managed to get his truck back on four wheels. Also, Danny Wells had stayed out in that thing right there. So that was a look at that right there, and we'll take you back to the green. I'm going to show you in slow-mo what happened. They had to take an extra lap because of a weird move by the leaders to go extra fast speed. Coming to regroup, I don't know what happens here, but Jessica Shelton gets into an innocent victim of trying to group up under caution. Now, in front of her was Gardner, behind her was Sanford, and then Pote and Guns were around. Now we're double checking to be sure. Young to go EOL for pit road speeding incident right there. And then watch this here. The 92 just totally brake checked. Sheldon's trying to avoid, and then right there Sanford gets into her, and then just totally goes and botches there. So smooth move by Gardner, and then just trucks were getting woed up trying to get around the incident and had to regroup again. So odd incidents happening under the caution really does not surprise me. It was safe to say that as we were on lap 16 of 40, getting ready to go back to the green, it was safe to say the first half of the race was cautions breeding cautions. It was undoubtedly a caution fest. But hopefully, you know, when the second half of the race came, that it was going to change, and eventually it did. Bob Jones and Steve Pollard III led him down. Bob Jones elected to restart this time on the inside line. Jones easily jumped that time right there, so he had to let Pollard III on by. Johnny Gardner had to go in the extreme low line, which is a very questionable decision right there, but had to check up because of that deal right there. Bob managed to keep the keep the fourth position rather right there, and you could tell these guys were just trying to race their hardest, but it was just a rather crazy pass. And you know, these guys on lights, you know, some of these guys are not the best experienced guys coming onto the track. So, you know, the cautions came. It wasn't a surprise, but, you know, at least a good chance that they're learning, though. Pollard the third, though, was trying to just get out there and lead. And Dylan Posey, like I mentioned before, beginning of the race, strong truck, and you can see why. Easily goes for the lead right there for Pollard the third. Even Pollard the third was having a little bit of a connection issue right there. As Pollard was dealing with a loose truck. Young easily passing the 10 right there, and people were wondering what was going to happen with him right there. Also, Danny Wells in the 32 had fell out of the race due to connection issues, which wasn't a surprise right there. Seth Cole in the 20 managed to go around right there in the Kraft Mac and Cheese truck, and that was a one-truck deal right there. He managed to keep going right there. And then James gets clobbered by the 99, it looked like. He managed to keep going right there. And yeah, it was the 99 of McIntyre. That was a two-truck incident right there. And then they were wondering when that third one was going to come, especially knowing how this race has been as we were on lap 18 of 40, 2 more laps reaching the halfway point. Jessica Sheldon trying to go the inside of Pollard the third for the second position, which she easily managed to, getting that low line to get a good run. At times, the high line was the most preferred line. However, people could use the low line and manage to get their passes as well. 84 was using it, the 9 was using it, 31 was using it, and a few other trucks were as well. But those are the trucks I've noticed throughout that race that were really using as well. Bob Jones was using the high line more, and he slapped the wall right there, getting under fire from Charles Sanford. as they were still green until McIntyre and James Silverfox got on each other, which brought out the caution. You could tell right there, Silverfox was just trying to go backwards and trying to cross the stripe, which he managed to do so backwards. Gotta love that Silverfox. But Field had to whoa up right there. Jessica Shelton with dead stop and just a lot of shit going down. Cody was still the leader at that time. They made a change afterward that the double file was not working out as well, so they decided to go single file throughout the rest of the restarts, and eventually would pay off. Poti was the leader up for the restart, as something is popping up right there. There we go. Apollo third would start second, Sanford third, Gunn fourth, Young fifth, Cole sixth, Collard seventh. Or Jones was actually seventh. Collard was eighth, rather. I don't know why, but whatever. McIntyre was ninth, and Gardner, I believe, was 10th. And yes, it was. They had to take one more lap, so we'll take you back to green. I did that. I thought that was the lap that they went back to green, so my bad there. There's a little botch right there. But they made it to the restart box for a while. Dylan Poti got to a good start. Pollard III did not at all. Sanford trying to take the advantage on the high line. You could tell Pollard III, he was experiencing his issues as well. Danny Wells had a lot of trouble trying to get back on the track. He eventually would not return from what I've noticed. Young was trying to work with Sanford right there. Team NRSL right there, trying to go around Pollard III, which, ironically enough, NRSL commentators for the Sanford series, which is kind of odd. Anyway, Sanford managed to get the run on the high line there. Seth Cole followed Young and Sanford, and Pollard III just trying to get to be having a good run. Young trying to take the third position from, or Cole trying to take the third spot. There's a wreck right there. We'll take a look at that in just a second right there, and I believe that was Gardner. Oh, I thought that was an incident. Gardner just fell back. Okay. But 18 was under fire from Seth there on the high line, trying to get the second position. But Seth Cole, though, trying to get it, and he managed to get it right there. Good run by the 20. Poti, though, undoubtedly had the best truck to beat right there. Young, trying to think he could use that high line to use power runs, but it wasn't paying off. The 18 truck was doing really strong this race, and it showed why. And Sanford, not much of an online racer, can show he can have some good potential in the near future. Team Pollard III and fell back quite a ways there. Last scored in the same position was under fire from Levi McIntyre, and you could tell Pollard III not having a good truck at all. Young again trying to get around Sanford, third place right there, but then Young lost it right there, hits the wall as well as the 20. 20 had pounded it really well. Sanford easily taking the third position. Guns trying to follow, trying to get around Young, couldn't do it. Young managed to get a good run, tries to go underneath the 20 for position. Had a good run with Guns trying to help him out. Getting the side draft was Young, good run right there. Jones then randomly comes out of nowhere, goes underneath Guns, and look at this right there. Close call right there. Almost taking out the 20. Young, not the best racer there. And then one truck hit the wall there. That was Pollard III. Looked again having a struggling truck right there. We were green right here, and this was a good thing to see by these drivers right here. Even though drivers did want to see a caution thing catch back up, still, this was good competitive racing, especially from second on back to the 8th position. 9th place Pollard III trying to catch up into the pack. Silver Fox had a tight truck right there, but managed to have a really good truck as well. Young still trying to battle with Seth Cole for that position, but Seth Cole managed to get it thanks to Young tagging the apron. Young almost tagging Guns right there, so good misfight there. Young with the experience of trying to whoa off, even though not the best. You know, he can still learn. Shell managed to also get around Young as well. Guns also then trying to pass Seth Cole for position right there. This was good, competitive green flag run. Sanford, though, was trying to catch up to Poti, but Poti was just checking out from the field. You can tell from the rear camera, you can tell he was pulling away without a doubt with 168. These guys going to 160. You can tell Poti had the car, or rather the truck, to beat as we are on lap 25. Teammates were always battling throughout this race when it was becoming Sanford, Seth Cole, or Jones. They were just battling their hearts out with each other. Seth Cole, also another one who had a really good truck right there. Nearly 3 wide right there, a few areas there. Jones, Silver Fox, and Young, and also Guns, Shelton, and Sanford. They were just bouncing crazy trucks. Sanford slapped the wall right there, managed to get past by Young. He fell back after hitting the wall. He did not recover well at all. 18 was losing a lot of ground. Eventually, Pollard III caught up to the 18, and then in the back of the pack, way back, McIntyre, Gardner, Collard, and Jackson there as well. But Poti checking out, and the last thing that everyone had needed to see was a caution. E4, you can see it slept the wall right there, as well as the 18, so you can tell E4 was not going to lose that spot to the 18 right there. Silver Fox managed to get a run on the 11. As you can also tell, the 11 did a slide job right there. 3 wide. Guns, Jones, and Silver Fox managed to keep it from not wrecking, so good job right there. Silver Fox had been battling with internet issues as well. Jones trying to retake the low line right there with help of Guns right there, but would remain mostly single file throughout this race. There was some battling, but some of the intense stuff was yet to come. You can also tell been dealing with a tight car right there as he's slapping the wall. He'd also been making some tire marks right there, as you can see, once he was making some turns. You'll take a look as he's going to come on to turn 3 here, right here, but take a look in the backstretch right here. This is incredible camera work by these guys right there. McIntyre, good save right there on the 99. This is a really good angle to see a lot of the trucks right here. Watch here coming into 2. Been really dealing with a tight truck right here, especially once the tire wear was really kicking in. Seth Cole right there in the wall. Young trying to not high bomb off the corner, but right there almost got into Bob Jones. That was very close, but good save nonetheless there, and good whereabouts right there. Poti was really pulling away in the 31, trying to just outdo the competition and just show what he was made of right there. Young also trying to just get around the 11, doing whatever he can. See, some of those tire marks right there were from the 84. You could tell right there how he was just running. Seth Cole managed to get around the 84 after him slapping the wall, but twice. As we come into lap 28, heading into lap 29, give us a total of 12 to go at the line. Dylan Poti undoubtedly was checking out and had the truck to beat, and you could see why. That X-side Chevrolet Silverado was just unstoppable. And it was the beginning of green flag pit stops heading into this time, as we were mostly caution-free in the second half of this race. You'll see what I mean. One truck dove down to pit road there was a wreck right there between Jackson and Pollard. They managed to save it right there. I thought that was green flag pit stops, but it happened the next lap, on lap 29. Jessica Shelton trying to do what she can right there, as actually Poti had been dealing with some issues as well. He actually was disappearing and reappearing, as you could tell. Shelton was actually right there. Poti was clearly ahead of Shelton, but nowhere in sight. It was a very odd deal that was going on. You could tell Poti was right there reappearing, then disappearing, and then there he was. So, very odd by 31 right there, nonetheless. I mean, we have seen weirder things before. And as we came into lap 29, people were wondering when the pit stops would happen coming into this lap. And Young thought he was going to pit, then changed his mind. Pollard the third was the first to lead down green flag pit stops. Josh McCullard followed in as well. Jackson was going to pit, changed his mind. Levi McIntyre dealing with a loose truck right there. Good save right there. Manages to pit as well. Still, as far as where Poti was concerned, no who was needed. But the green flag pit stops were beginning, and it was only going to be a matter of time. And not only when Sheldon was pitting, but Poti and others. As you can clearly see, also Poti was just not appearing as much toward this point of the race. 11 laps to go, 10 when we cross the stripe. But second place, Sheldon, was under fire heavily from the 98 Silver Fox, who also was battling internet issues as well. Coming through this time on by, the top 6 did not pit, neither did the top 7. Actually, I believe Charles Jackson, did he pit this time? I think he did. No, he didn't. So no one had led down pit stops at this point, but Jessica Sheldon, as there was Poti finally getting himself back on. I don't know what happened, but I guess he somewhat warped. I don't know if that's the right thing to say. I think he kind of did. Anyway, moving on. As you can see, only Pollard the third was the one to pit at the time, and in the lap info, or fastest lap rather, Dylan Posey ran a 51.103 for his fastest lap in the race, and you can tell, though, he was having such a car to beat. As one truck went down, Seth Cole, he had to use the brakes right there. Jones went down, Sanford went down. All three Joe Gibbs teammates went down there. I guess you could say it's Joe Gibbs. Dylan Young was going to pit this lap, changed his mind, stayed out another lap. Basically, was waiting until the leaders were pitting. Dylan Poteet, Jessica Shelton, James Silverfox, Machine Guns, and Young, top 5. Interesting there. Garner was in 6th. 7th was Collard. 8th was McIntyre. And then there are the rest of these guys coming on down. Jackson also came down that lap by. He did not have a good truck at all, but it's all which we can get. And then Poteet managed to come on down this time by as Machine Gun stayed out. I thought he's been there. Poteet was trying to play some pit road strategy right there. As Young locked up his tires, almost lost him, almost got into Gardner. He pitted as well. That was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen, but, you know, Young is down, which was a good thing. I think Young really needed a pit that badly because he was balancing the tire issue badly throughout that moment right there. Cloud Smoke Levi was going through right there. So those guys completed their pit service. Jessica Shelton, James Silverfox, Machine Guns, wondering when they were going to pit, as well as Johnny Gardner in the 92. A lot of concern knowing for that. As I was wondering what happened, why my phone was going off. Now I know why. As Jessica Shelton went down as the leader, Guns went down, James Silverfox stayed out and managed to lap Young. Garner stayed out in the 92. Those were the two people that stayed out throughout this race. And it was going to be key of who was going to really pay off on pit stretch. And I believe Collard, yeah, he did pit on that time. So he nearly cycled around green flag pit stops. Dylan Poteet, however, managed to get lapped down by Silverfox. And they were hoping that the 98 was going to pit, as well as the 92. Completing his pit service right there, getting passed by some trucks. Just trying to make sure you can play out some pit strategy right there. Silverfox staying out that lap. Johnny Gardner in the 92 staying out that lap as well. As the laps are winding down, as at the stripe next time I would be 5 laps to go, as we're on 6 laps to go right now, even though we're not in the leaders. Gardner, though, very surprisingly staying out. As 4 trucks were on the lead lap, Shelton and Guns managed to still be on the lead lap, which was very odd, but good pit stop strategy by them. Poteet managed to take the reward right there, passing Silverfox the hard way to get his lap back, instead of Silverfox coming down pit road. Silverfox was trying to conserve as much as possible, but the 98 Toyota Tundra said that he was going to be out one more time, adding more pressure to guys like Seth Cole, Bob Jones, Charles Sanford, Stephen Pollard III, Joshua Collard, Dylan Young, Levi McIntyre, some of those guys. But Johnny Gardner stayed out another lap, and laps were winding down, and it was getting nerve-wracking because, you know, who knows what was going to happen. 5 trucks were on the lead lap, folks. 5. We were on 5 laps to go. And Machine Guns was about ready to be lapped down to make it, excuse me, not Machine Guns. Well, I guess I get someone to say it. You know, praying and hoping for caution to happen. That was the only thing these guys were hoping for. James Silverfox, you know, despite the internet issues, he had another good truck as well. This is a guy who's been doing online for some time, trying to get his win. He already got his first ever career on NR win, and it really paid off at Proving Grounds. And then Jones, whoa, got a little contact there. Managed to save his truck right there. Johnny Gardner in the 92 just had been playing around about when to pit. Still stayed out. It was very surprising that Gardner decided to stay out. We thought, you know, the 98 and the 92 were going to really pit, and no, they're not. Right there, Silverfox could tell his internet issue was really bad. And once 3 laps to go is at the line, the point on overturn is closing in very soon. Seth Cole was managing to catch up to Silverfox. Silverfox trying to save as much fuel as possible, as well as Gardner. And Stephen Pollard III had wrecked, and a caution would come out. Yes, a caution when C. Paul III had really had a lot of problems, and this changed everything. As it really did. Silver Fox did not want to see that at all, that Pollard III went around. Seth Cole actually got into contact with James Silver Fox, which I don't think that was Seth's plan of doing. Seth trying to pass via the high line. Couldn't. And he lost ground. Then Shelton goes into Jackson. She goes around with 3 to go. And that didn't help at all. That really, I think, brought out the caution, I believe, as Garner elected to pit, finally. I believe Silver Fox hadn't yet not pitted at that time. So, with 2 laps to go, they made it as an official caution. Odd decision, but whatever, that was the case. So, we were going to set up for a 1-lap shootout. So they had the drivers that were lapped down make the wave around and make sure that Silver Fox would have to move out of the way, go at a slow speed, have drivers like Seth Cole, Bob Jones, Charles Sanford, Josh McCollard, as Young messed up right there, going into Collard, all made sure that they got around the 98. Johnny Garner, you can see, clearing his pit road service, arcs down the inside line, almost gets into the barrier right there. And then these guys were just slowing down. I don't know why they were going this speed, but then they made it clear, made Silver Fox go very slow, and they had the drivers that were lapped down catch back up. But they said, once you guys head to the white flag, go for it. Silver Fox was only going about 70 miles an hour in the pacing. These guys had to get going, and they had to really run it. Otherwise, it was game over there. Guns had to make a pit stop right there to get through so we could set up for this 1-lap shootout. So let's get to that. As we were on 2 laps to go ahead of the white flag, they actually had told Silver Fox to go 30 miles an hour pace, so that way they would catch up. So that was a big break for a lot of these drivers getting ready for the 1-lap shootout. Once Bob had also caught up to the field there, these guys were not only slowing down, but Young trying to whoa up, get into Seth Cole, just trying to make sure, hey, let's just get to that, let's just make sure we all get ready to go. And a little incident right there happened, and just shit was about to go down, and we were just getting ready for that white flag to display right there. Guns still in pit road. Gardner trying to catch up as well. Jackson. And these guys were just trying to go single file, getting ready for the 1-lap shootout. Old Silver Fox, go ahead. Just, still go slow, but we're about ready to go. Going 30 miles an hour, then they just, I don't know why they were going this slow, but Jackson hits the wall right there, trying to catch up, and he's trying to use the wall to avoid the incident. Goes past a few trucks right there, but then a little bumper grab right there. Not bumper grab, but bumper for trucks, I guess you could say. Then they have 50 on the pacing, and then I have no idea what Pollard was doing. And then crazy shit going on right there. Green flag. I don't know what's going on at that point. And then shit was about to go down. White flag displayed for James Silver Fox. He had been battling such a laggy internet, as well as Danny, and Danny eventually, like I mentioned, did not return. Shelton was 1 lap down. Guns, I guess, did he get back out? No, he did not. But then, and for the white flag, it was a battle between Dylan Pote and James Silver Fox for the win, as Silver Fox just trying to get the win what he can, making contact with Pote, doing what he can, and this was very controversial because you'll see why in a minute. Silver Fox goes into Pote, goes into Bob Jones, into Sanford, and then watch this here. Young trying to get around, goes over upside down, goes to 84, and then the 92 of Gardner goes around, and then at the stripe, James Silver Fox officially would win this race. But a lot of controversial what happened. They said that Pote should have won because of Silver Fox's connection, but they later credited James Silver Fox with the victory as Pote, well, shit had to go down right there, and the famous wrecking under winning there. Job well done. 84 landed upside down, did not finish the race, but unofficially scored in the 11th position. And, well, shit went down. So, there you see, that was a crazy incident, but nonetheless, though, Silver Fox was the winner. of this race. Congrats to him. So that was it for the lights race. Now let's get you to the main race. Now time for the main race. Dylan Schmallenberg managed to get the pole, had a really good lap. Austin Ogo started second. Third, Richard Johnson. Fourth, Eric Dobbs. Fifth was Austin LaPlante. Sixth was David Culpepper, I believe the name is. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Seventh was Lyndon Wright. And then Zach Buchanan, a.k.a. Dylan Young. Whatever way I guess you can call it. Got to start in the 8th position, even though it was qualified for 9th. 9th, Brennan. 10th, Dutta. 11th, Curtis. And 12th, Corey Williams. 12 trucks for the main race. Green flag was out for here. 56 laps we had for this race, rather than the 40 for the lights race. So Dylan Schmallenberg undoubtedly had a very fast truck, and these guys were to show that they were going to be a rather interesting race. Also a little controversial at the end, which we'll get to later on, but nonetheless, though, this race was not a disappointment as well. Culpepper making his, I believe this was his second race. I could be wrong on that, but if it is not, then yes, I am wrong. I'm sorry, but yes, I don't know much about the mains, so I apologize for that. First time also, like I mentioned, Young got to sub for Buchanan, so this is going to be rather interesting. Contact wall, and the wall was beaming. Did not have a truck at all really well. Was struggling in the 316, couldn't do a lot. Schmallenberg led the first lap. Opposite second had another strong truck as well. Zach Buchanan, Austin Ogo. I'm thinking that's Buchanan, but that's Indy. Okay. Not as well. Culpepper in the 4th position. Richard Johnson in the 5th, trying to get the 4th position from the 53, and managed to get it. Zach Buchanan in the 4 was hitting the wall. Kind of like what happened to Young, even though, okay, you get it. Kind of managed to pass him right there. And it was rather interesting to know that Young was actually racing with some of these guys before in the past, but rather than having Buchanan not even race, they had Young take over, and they were asked about who was going to sub for Zach. Young selected, said, why not? So it was rather going to be interesting to see what Young could do for Buchanan, and yes. Lyndon Wright in 81, a lot of talk about for him. Not only with the well season he's had, winner at Texas, and I believe he won at Atlanta, right? No, Dobbs won at Atlanta. So there's going to be another question of what Lyndon can do for Indy, although you'll see what will happen with Lyndon throughout this race. Schmallenberg had led 5 laps of this race. It had been rather interesting, though. He even really lost the pack. Lyndon Wright, in case you're wondering what happened to him, he kept bouncing. My bad there. He kept bouncing off the wall to the 81, and he kept getting right there. Then he goes into the 4 of Zach Buchanan. That was the first truck around. Buchanan barely got the wall right there. Obviously, there was no damage race, but still not a good thing for Buchanan. Just not at all. Buchanan was hoping for a caution to happen and just hoping for anything to happen. But knowing these guys it wouldn't look like it. Lyndon Wright, despite falling back, had a very loose truck and was really struggling at a point throughout this race and just could not seem to hold on. You'll see what I mean throughout the rest of this race. But up in the front of the pack, though, Dylan Schmallenberg, Eric Dobbs, Austin Ogo, David Culpepper, Richard Johnson, and Ian Dutta all battling there in a very good pack. Top 6 were right with each other. 7th place, Austin LaPlante was really hanging on but starting to lose it. DJ Curtis, Corey Williams was starting to lose it. Lyndon Wright in the 10th position there. Beeman there, and then Young, A.K. Buchanan, well, whatever way you want to say it, it's worked. Lyndon Wright, as you could see, was really falling back. He had been slapping the wall, had been dealing with a tight and a loose truck, but more of a loose truck, especially in this race. He was tight in the beginning, but then the truck was just losing it because of the tire wear, and you'll know why. The tire wear has really been the key to this race throughout, and it's around lap 12 and 56. It had been mainly single file. Dylan Schmallenberg, undoubtedly, I think, had to be the truck to beat right there. He's just been shown why in the online community. He's been a really good racer, shown he's been really fast, gets good, when the setups come in for fixed, he'll know how to run the truck well, and he just capitalizes right there. As I apologize, my phone keeps going off throughout these races. I really am frustrated why. Buchanan was hoping for caution to come out, so he wasn't getting lapped down because Dylan Schmallenberg was catching up on the 4 right there. It had been struggling for the 4 throughout the beginning. As you can tell, Young had also been dealing with a tight truck as well. It was actually somewhat catch up to Beeman in the 316. So that was another thing that took place right there. That was heading in. Finally, a lead change would finally come by as Dylan Schwalberg led 17 laps, undoubtedly. Right, Ian Dutta finally in the 51 managed to hit around the 34. Undoubtedly, Schwallenberg was good. Was a good truck right there. But you could see they were catching up to Buchanan and they were catching up to Beeman. Buchanan just praying for that caution to come. Just was hoping for anything possible. Is just anything possibly goes for the 4. On the lap 18 of 56, you could tell Buchanan was getting reeled in by Dutta. And he made clear that if Dutta was going to approach, he told Dutta to go to the inside line. But trucks were making pit stops was Austin Ogo and DJ Curtis. And the 4 just was not in any good situation at all. Dutta apparently then caught up to him, but the 316 also goes down a lap down. Something went wrong with him. I believe he blew up in that truck. And indeed it was the case, I believe. 4 and 12 to 51, 34, 50, 93, 316. All pit. Young. Here, okay. Buchanan stays out. And this is when the pit window was in there. Also, Culpepper went down. But LaPlante stayed out. Corey and Wright also were behind, but they needed something to have happen. After the green flag pit stops there, Ian Dutta in the 51 with Dylan Schwalberg, they were still top 2. Linden actually crashed coming into pit road, but it was this truck incident, and Buchanan was the first truck lap down. Hard to believe, too. I don't know if you also noticed, too, Lyndon Wright also had a lot of problems. You could tell this was the beginning of his looseness, and you would see a lot of loose problems for the 81. He was just struggling there. His tires were just all shredded. He managed to get out, but a caution well needed, though. That was big for the 4, and he eventually got his lap back, which was the thing for Buchanan. You could tell the 4 right there, heading on down the pit road. Little mess up right there. Actually, I believe, did he lose a tire on that one? No, he didn't. Okay, I thought he lost a tire. But anyway, because look how far it is from the 15 of Williams to the 4 of Buchanan. How close they were. That was a huge break right there. It could not have been any better. And Dylan Schwalberg, they all got to the pit stalls. They went through fine. Ogo had to do a little turn there. LaPlante, I don't know what kind of pit stop that was. GG. Buchanan made his, almost getting into Dutta there. A little close there. The good news for the 4. Managed to get back on the lead lap. Let's take it back to the green. The green flag would eventually be back out on lap 24. As you notice now, 10 cars are on the lead lap. The 81 on right is 2 laps down. The 316 is 2 laps down as well. And they scored Corey 1 lap down. Or excuse me, not Corey. DJ Curtis, rather, my bad. 1 lap down. So 9 trucks back a lap, or on the lead lap. Now, Linden, you can tell right there. Loose truck right there goes into Richard Johnson. Just caution comes out. Holy crap, Richard Johnson. Jeez, I never got to witness that there. 316 also involved, as well as Richard Johnson. Johnson went for a wild flip, as well as the 4 Buchanan. Guess what that means? Because both of them were involved. 14 of Curtis got himself back on the lead lap. Curtis was very lucky. 81 was very slow to get going, as well as the 93. Immediately, because the caution wouldn't come back, 15 was actually coming of Corey Williams. He was approaching the 14 of Curtis. DJ Curtis, very lucky there. He didn't, get a lap down. He crosses the stripe, and then there we go. We are about a little bit over the halfway mark, so yeah. Actually, we're not halfway, about 3 laps, I believe, from halfway, so yeah. Oh, and Linden somehow managed to get in the infield, which I have no idea why, but Linden right, everyone. I can't say. I don't know. Sneaky Linden. Also word that the 316 had blown an engine and is done for the day. So trouble breaking for the 316. He is done. He's not had the best of trucks, so there's 1 truck out of it. As they're getting ready to go back to green, as we're going to be back green on lap 27 to 56. Also, if you notice, 1 truck's down pit road. That's Linden Wright. More struggles for the 81. He's now 3 laps down. There's Curtis trying to get back up to the field. And green flag has just been waved again. Now, what's different about this race than the lights was that the lights race, the first half was wreckfest, and this race was a calm fest. Then in the second half, the lights was a calm one, except for two incidents that happened, well, two cautions rather. And then the second half was a lot of wrecks that happened, and you'll see what I mean though, as about 20 laps to go there, or excuse me, 30 laps to go rather. My bad. Ian Dutta going for the second position right there. And I'll tell you what, turn 3 undoubtedly had to be the big issue, not only for lights, but also in the major ones. And look, here's a prime example. They'll go 3 wide off the corner. One truck's going to hit the wall. And it was whether someone hit the wall or they caused an incident was what the problem was. And yeah, Eric Dobbs got the lead the lap right here. 316 still sitting up pit road. Really right, he has just been struggling out there. He is 3 laps down. And if he doesn't get going, he'll be 4, and that's not been good. Austin LaPlante under fire from position right there. 93 of Richard Johnson up ahead. There's David Culpepper right there. Having not bad of a in that 5th position in that Texaco Javelin Silverado right there. Oh, what is going on right here? That is Austin Ogo. He's trying to make a move underneath. Can't make a move. He's going to tuck back in line. And 3. Okay, that was weird. That was just physics. Physics. And these guys would be a little calm for now until later on the stages would change. But Dylan Schwallenberg managed to get around Corey. And, you know, what's funny was that this race here, Schwallenberg had the truck to beat. And if it wasn't Schwallenberg, it had to be the leader right there, Eric Dobbs. Undoubtedly, those two had to be the dominant trucks all day long. Look at this. Dutta trying to block the 34 of Schwallenberg. Dutta's going to lose that favor. Gets into the wall. Goes in the 15 of Williams. Hard in the wall. Williams flips over. And, wow, that was interesting. Dutta also hits the wall. 2-truck incident. They still keep going. There's Lyndon Wright in 81. Yes, the same truck who's been having such a good season. More struggles today in Indy. Almost going into LePage mode right there. That was a close call right there. And then trucks are just trying to avoid the 81. I believe the 81 got involved in another wreck, and I think that's what caused the caution. I'm not 100% sure, though, but we're going to check right now. Let's see if that is the case when they cross the stripe here. Did they? Let's see. Yep, they called the caution, I figured. So they called the caution from the 81 there, and then they also called it from that incident there. So let's keep on going. This episode happened on lap 30:56 as everyone, yes, everyone went on down. There's Lyndon trying to just get his way through. He is now 3 laps down for being 4 laps down. Now think about it, folks. He was 4 laps down, point now 3. He would need a miracle for him to not only get himself back in the lead lap, but also contend with the other leaders. But he has just not had the truck at all. And he has just been battling a tight truck. And then all of a sudden, the later stages now, he's been battling a loose truck. And look at right there, sets an example right there of a loose truck. He just pounded the wall there. And just trying to get the truck fixed up as much as possible. With another shitty pit stop there, but still okay. You see the other trucks completing their pit service or having a little extended stay there, now going out of there. Trying to get as much fuel as possible. This is a fuel and tire wear race. Lyndon Wright, you can tell, is struggling in the 81. Close call between Curtis and 51 Dutta there. Almost got near each other right there. Dobbs got the lead, though. Let's take it back to green. They would go back to green on lap 31 of 56, and not a good start at all for the 4. Some of you look at this, nearly 4 wide they were going, and then right there, Culpepper, I don't know what just happened, goes into Ogo, into Corey. Holy crap, I didn't even ever see that right there. Goes into the 4, immediately a caution comes out. Guess what happens? Lyndon Wright, 81, he's now 2 laps down because of, let's take one more look at that Culpepper incident. Watch here, gets into Ogo in the rear there, goes into Corey, into Buchanan, and then, oh man, the 3 and 15 kind of glitched into each other. Watch this. Right there. Oh, man, I don't know what the... Well, I never knew that by now, but Culpepper made probably one of the biggest rookie mistakes right there, just uncalled for right there. That was just not good at all. Dobbs would retain the lead. As you could tell, the other trucks there coming by Lyndon Wright. As you can see, he's going to get his lap back in the 81. And now he's, I believe he's 1 lap down, actually. Actually, he's 2, rather. My bad. I keep going ahead of myself. And this is big for Lyndon. He can try to get whatever he can. And it's a little bumping going on right there. I don't know what that was about with LaPlante and Richard Johnson. So these guys are trying to make sure that not only they can get themselves in line, but also figure out where they're going to be and all. And, oh, what's this? Ford gave a shot to the 53. I don't think he was too pleased about that call right there that the 53 did to Ogo. I'm surprised. I thought Ogo would do it to him, but instead Young made his little displeasure. Wow, I think he gave a shot to a little, what was that there move, but wow, some temper swearing at Indy right there. Bob's leading them down, and I believe, are we going to see more pit stops in this one? Yes, we will. Leader does not come down, neither does second, third. Actually, Culpepper and Young also stay out. And, they're making some more words there, and the 4 is going to lightly turn into 53. Yes, some tempers flaring right there. This is interesting. 53 has a little shot to the 4. I don't think that 4 was too kind to that 53 right there. Then here comes Lyndon. Almost runs into him there. Good job by the 81 to miss that. But 34, 93, 3, 15, 14, they're down. There's Culpepper trying to work his way back through. I don't know if there's going to be any retaliation by the 53 rather. I almost just said 50. Wow, good fail. Let's see here. 53. Oh, he does. Well, I guess, well, this is going to be interesting to see what those two will be like. I think they were just showing their displeasure after the caution. That's all they're doing, so. Yeah, let's take you back to green. We go back to green on lap 35 of 56. Those cautions have been really killing the momentum of some drivers. And remember, Lyndon, 2 laps down now. This is what he needs. And oh boy, oops. I keep forgetting about that there with Windows 8 there. But double foul so far. Buchanan's going to move up on the high line. And, a shot by the 15. Him and Schwelberg then. Schwally. Save right there. Corey. Contact. And there goes the 15. The 4. Curtis is going to send him over on his roof. Ogo gets involved. And the 4 involved in another wreck. He was in a bad situation. 4 got to claim that wreck. But, man, he was not in any good situation. And, he said it was in that replay that the 4... He took the brake a little bit bad, and that's what caused the incident. He was very, very in a bad situation, so he had nowhere else to go but to turn. Dobbs leads him down and get this Lyndon right. Now 1 lap down is the 81. Take it back to the next green flag run. Green flag will come back out on lap 38 of 56. And Culpepper, remember him and Young on the scuffle? Well, now Culpepper's taking advantage of anything possible. He's now coming to lead. Lyndon Wright didn't catch up to the field in time, so he missed out. But if another wreck happens, another caution, then he can get the lucky dog. He'll be back on the lead lap. They had 3 cautions and managed to get himself a lap down. If there's a 4th one, something must be wrong with these guys that they're not racing that well. Culpepper gets the lead. Corey gets a good run off the turn. Oh boy, this is bad. I think there's the caution, and there you go. There it is. A 4th caution, 2 trucks. 2 trucks. And there's number 3 with Ogo, and look at that. Lyndon Wright is going to be one lucky son of a gun. He's going to be back on the lead lap after having such a terrible truck. He's still got a terrible truck, and that's going to be huge for the 81. And Corey led that down. Let's take you back to the green again. Flag will come back out on lap 41 of 56. 3 wide right there between Buchanan, Curtis, and Schmallenberg. Buchanan's going back out of that. Ogo gets loose off the corner. And he comes back down. Buchanan now going to let Richard Johnson by in the 93. Thinks better. Trying to think he can outrun that 93. But, man, it's going to be tough, though. And especially how that draft's driving the inside line. I think Richard's going to get this one. And Lyndon Wright, man, I'll tell you something, he's been amazing, and it's confirmed now the race of 316 is meant now. And oh, trouble! One truck around, that's Richard Johnson in the 93. Took a slide. One truck incident. Oh, Culpepper has got a major internet issue now. Bogo trying to get that 4th spot from him. Curtis barely got second at the line over Schwallenberg, but is he going to get it off the turn? Is he going to clear him? Yes, he will. Good run by the 14. Now trying to get the lead. He's been having so much bad luck in the IBOS series. He would love to get something good, and he's been in this situation many times. I think this is now the 4th time now he's up in the front. Hopefully he does not get wrecked. Culpepper having major internet issues. LaPlante, Dobbs, they go around him as Buchanan also got around him. Lyndon Wright and Corey Williams are catching up. Corey Williams fell all the way back after the pit stops there. Richard Johnson needs to hope for that caution to come out. DJ Curtis is now going to the inside for the lead. And Schwallenberg is now going to go 3 wide as the 51 of Dutta hit the wall. Curtis, is he going to lead the lap? Oh, with a block right there. Yes, he's going to lead the lap, barely, almost getting turned by the 34. There you see Richard Johnson. He's on turn number 3. Got around quickly, got it back going. It's good. Oh, Buchanan in the 4 round. Oh, it gets clobbered by Lyndon Wright. And that's a caution. Another one around, it's Culpepper. Lap 43 of 56 cautions. They're breeding cautions. And man, that Ford truck has been nothing but getting involved in wrecks. And how about Curtis, though? Give him credit. Oh man, it's actually the 34 and the 3 going to hit the wall there. Not what Curtis needed to see. Richard Johnson wanted to hear that, though. As Curtis slaps the wall, he's trying to win a race here, damn it. And he's going to lead at the front stretch. Let's go take a look at that. Richard Johnson says he barely led right, though. Let's take a look. Alright, so he was battling with Buchanan at that time. Dobbs was behind him. And Dobbs too hard on there. Just sends the 93 around. So that's what we didn't see. We didn't show you. But good job by the 93 to get himself back around and showing it. Now let's go look at what happened to Buchanan. You can see right there, the 40 gets taken out by the 50. And Lyndon Wright right there just clobbers him. 81 does a wheelie right there for a little bit. And then 53 randomly slides around. He's just been having such a horrible truck right there. And battling it all day long. So not been good there. Richard Johnson back on the tail end of the lead lap. DJ Curtis leading them down. Stops what happened again there is, they were taking as much fuel as possible and making sure their tires would not be messed up. I believe after this stop here is on 45-56, they will be all good to go on gas. So no worries there. Some drivers are taking 2 tires in this pit stop, I believe. And indeed, that is the case. You see Curtis, you see Dutta, you see Williams. There's Lyndon going out, and then the rest of the other trucks going out as well, including Dobbs and Culpepper last of the pit stops there. Schwallenberg and LaPlante stayed out as Richard Johnson was catching up on the tail of the field to also, catch up with the rest of the pack. So, let's take it back to the green. Look at this, though. As we went back to green, Curtis, Dutta nearly making contact right there, nearly making big mistakes right there. These guys were in the wreck it up moment in the second half of the race, but a lot of crazy racing. But these guys will know that it will take a lot for them to win a race, though. That's what matters the most. Dylan Schwallenberg back on the lead. As, remember, he led the first 17 laps of this race. Back as the leader. LaPlante trying to deny him of the victory. DJ Curtis trying to do what he can. A little close between him and LaPlante there. And then the 4, oh goodness me, 3 wide for the lead. Dutta goes around in the 51. I don't know if you've just seen it, but he managed to just hit the inside wall. Nobody else got involved as well. We stayed green. They said 2 more trucks are around. The caution will come out. 10 laps to go at the line this time by. Schwallenberg, Curtis, they're trying to pull away. Curtis doesn't want to end up what happened to him before. And look at this, 3 wide between Lyndon, Dobbs, and Buchanan back stop. But Lyndon Wright, remember him being 4 laps down. He's already trying to get as much spots as possible, trying to make sure he gets that, the points lead there. Oh, Chuck around with a loose truck. He goes around. That was 2 right there on that incident. Under fire between Lyndon Wright is Richard Johnson in the 93. Richie Rich trying to go underneath for that position. Unfortunately, was just trying. Lyndon Oh, that was close right there. 93 still trying to battle. Richard knows how to drive those trucks really well, and he'll show you why. He kept fighting and fighting, eventually got the spot. But man, he was just fighting hard. DJ Curtis all over Dylan Schwallenberg's bumper. 8 laps to go. Or excuse me, 9 laps to go, rather. Curtis was all over Schwallenberg's bumper. Once the turn came, he lost that bumper feeling there and was about half a car length from the 34. But back bumper. DJ Curtis trying to do what he can. This is why these guys race hard. Battle, I believe, right there between the 4 and 81. Yep, I think the 4 had hit the wall right there. Lyndon Wright is going for the 7th position. Is the 81. Oh, and he turned the 4, and that's a caution. 81 goes around as well as Culpepper. 81 hard to the wall as well as the 53 going back up on the track. 4 trying to get the car around. 81 stuck toward the wall. 53 going to get it going. Wow, unfortunate circumstances. Williams managed to get by the 3 trucks there. This is key. And that was not at all what Schwallenberg or Curtis needed. That was not good. But the 81, as you saw right there, kind of had a little glitch there. A little warp up there. Hit the 4. Eventually he got UL'd. Would be the final pit stops of today's race would come. This is where 2-tire strategy really could play into factor. Dobbs totally messed up his pit stalls for getting in, so he had to scoot on in, and Young was taking right sides, hopefully if it would pay off. It actually did pay off because he was 3rd off the pit road there, so that was very interesting strategy by the 4. I've never been saying this right now. And trouble! Ogo and Schwallenberg. I think they're going to still have Ogo at the spot, but I think they was just trying to get up pit road, that cluster. Lyndon Wright ends up being as the leader. That was huge for the 81. After what has happened to him, he takes the lead and takes it back to the green. I forgot Corey Williams led, actually, at that time. Or actually, I'm sorry. Curtis then making contact, going into the wall. Curtis trying to make sure he doesn't get screwed out of victory. Well, may have just ended his chance, I'm not sure, but don't forget, we got 5 laps to go next by, so anything and everything can happen. Lyndon Wright had been that story right there in that 2nd position. All over the 15th bumper. Look at Dobbs, look at Ogo, 3 wide, nearly keeps it off each other. Now Culpepper under fire from the 3rd spot. Austin, Ogo, nearly making contact. LaPlante, Dobbs, Dutta. They're going to be very almost tight 3 wide. Settle it back out to 2. Dobbs almost hits the wall right there. And look at 3 wide down the front stretch. This is scary, especially heading into 1. Curtis, LaPlante. Dobbs in a bad position there. Dobbs probably in the worst. He backs out of it. Very wise move by the 50. He loses some spots, and then the 4 gets a little tight. Backs off it so that way he doesn't turn the 50. Nice call by the 4 right there. Also almost gets run over by Schwallenberg right. I think the Dylans didn't want to get into each other there. Schwallenberg had a little contact from that thing there. Corey Williams, though, trying to hold on from Lyndon Wright and David Culpepper. Not bad by the 53 with a good comeback right there. Trying to hang on, though. Dunn in the 51 is coming as well. Pushes Lyndon to the wall. Goes into Curtis, and Curtis got turned. 2 trucks. That screwed Curtis there. Saved by the 4. Getting turned by the 34. Tough break for Lyndon and for DJ. Both of those drivers did not need that. 1 more truck. They will throw a caution, but don't forget, 4 laps to go right now. Anything goes. If 1 truck goes around, there will be a caution, but 2 laps to go comes, point no return comes into effect. If a caution comes out at 3, then who knows what will happen. Anything goes, though. Dutta getting the 2nd position for Culpepper, almost getting turned right there. Oh, wait a minute, was there? I thought there was another wreck. Never mind then. 1 truck is slow, though. That is the 40 of, or actually, it's the 3 of Ogo, rather. 34 easily gets by the 3. Oh, Culpepper just warped right there. That was scary. Nearly getting to the 93 of Richard Johnson. Heading to the stripe. 3 laps to go. Got a front pack of 7 trucks right there. Battling for the win. Actually, 6 trucks rather, not 7. 7th, 8th, 9th are all right there with each other. And then 10th and 11th are right there, bound for a spot. Curtis trying to bounce back. Corey, though, having a good truck toward the end. Whatever adjustments he made on the last pit stop he made of the race had really been paying off right there. Culpepper just trying to hang on for third from Eric Dobbs. Dobbs trying to make a move on the outside, trying to make sure he gets the run. Can't do it. Done down to the inside, but Dobbs takes advantage of the outside line, getting around the 53 until he hits the wall. Culpepper with a nice save, goes around. Dobbs goes around into Dunna, into LaPlante, and we got ourselves a caution. There was some confusion on the radio whether it was caution or not, but then watch this. Dobbs takes a hit right there from the 4. A big multi-truck wreck. 4 keeps going as it never happened. Good job by the 4, not only with the wreck. Oh, and then Curtis goes into, that was Dunna. 14 goes on the pit road there. We'll take another look at that incident there. LaPlante barely made it by. 2 trucks made it through, actually 3 rather. Buchanan, the 4. And Rocket is in the 4th position. Let's take a look at that wreck one more time. This was very controversial, not only that, of the laps to go mark, but also because of how the wreck was taking place. That due to confusion, Buchanan just plows into LaPlante right there. Total mass confusion. Some drivers thought that there was no caution there because of how many laps to go there were, because of the lights race that happened. So LaPlante managed to get a spot back. Buchanan, I believe, did get his spot back as well, which they did reward the 4. They said that was alright. Just go ahead on up there. Now let's take a look at that incident. And you know what? They were battling hard for that 3rd position. I don't blame how hard they've been racing there, but take a look there. Dobbs gets a good run on the outside. Now remember, Culpepper has been dealing with internet issues, dealing with a loose truck. You know, it can add on and on. But watch here with the 53, what's going to happen there. Right behind us down the 51 is we're looking in the helicopter view. So 51's going to make the slightest bit of contact. Then the warp thing happens, goes into Dobbs. Dunna going to get a little contact off that, is going to go around. Austin, the plan up 48, is going to make it by, which is amazing there. And watch the 51 of Dunna just gets clipped right there. LaPlante actually 51 misses that. LaPlante is going to get on by. Lucky drivers right there for Austin LaPlante. Actually gets into the 51, but keeps going as if nothing happened. That was a good job by the 48 of LaPlante, knowing to not only keep the car straightened out, but to put that 34 Schwallenberg goes into it, into the 53. The 3 truck also gets involved right there. You know, it's just a big multi-truck pile. Watch the 4 Buchanan. Now there's the 50. 50 truck was actually trying to slide back down, unaware of the 4. 4 was trying to get out of the way, T-bones the passenger side of the 50. Look at this. Oh, man, the 50 goes upside down right there. And is going to go for some flips. 4 does a little bit of a wheelie, keeps going. Lucky break for the 4. We'll take some onboards of this wreck and in a little bit there, but man, that 50 truck took some flips and I believe landed upside down. Let's play in full motion to be sure about that. And indeed, the case landed on pit road upside down. Look at DJ Kerr sliding near the 50. Who knows what could have happened? I think Dobbs would not have gotten towed for that there. Let's take some onboards to that wreck. See, watching 53 trying to make some blocking effort. 50 makes a good crossover right here. Now you're going to see, I believe the 53 may have been the cause. Take a look from the 50's view. I don't know. I was just, didn't see it going. Right there, you see how the connection just really was right there. Then the 50 Dobbs goes around into Dunna right there. And then watch here, see? Now he's going to slide right here. Now you see that 4 coming into the picture. Oh, man, it just gets clobbered right there. And then is going to go for some flips right there. And eventually lands upside down. Does the 50, so yeah. Get you 2 more onboards. Yeah, he actually got tight there on the wall. Now you see the smoke. Now watch, let's see how the 4 is thinking right here. Makes it through these 3, okay. Oh, was just unaware of the 50. Oh, man. If he didn't hit the 50, he would have hit the 51, so. But look, good driving, though, by the 4, keeping on going. On board. Yeah, I guess that connection. And 3. Oh, man, how did the plant almost get clobbered by 53? Now, 53 is going to keep going. Gets clobbered right by the 34, and then 3 clobbers him. You're going to see that view of the 4. Man. 50 just got clobbered right there, and you know, that was just bad luck right there. So, let's take you back to, you know, what will be our last restart and how crazy the shenanigans are going to be. 2 one-lap shootouts that we've had in both races. Here's the second one. Now, the green flag is out. They said that Richard Johnson actually jumped the start, so they told him to whoa up. Corey Williams in the 15 was awarded getting the lead right there. Now watch here, Austin. The plant, it's a little contact from the 4. Good save. Kind of ends the chance of the Plant's win. That was a bad move by the 4, but you know, then Dutta gets turned by the 53. 48 of the Plant, just bad luck continuing. Worse for that 48. It's down to 6 trucks right there for the win. Richard Johnson nearly getting turned by Dylan Schwallenberg with a good comeback right there. Lyndon Wright going for the 4th position. Trying to do what he can. Buchanan trying to hang on, 3 wide. Backs out of it. Richard Johnson, though, trying to catch up to Corey. Corey Williams coming up the final turn. Richard Johnson, does he have any chance of a run? Richard trying to do what he can all over the back bumper. Here he comes, trying to make a move to the outside, but not enough. Williams wins at the line. There you go, folks. Both races in the bags. And then they fucked up right here. Holy shit. Track here. I don't know what to say. I don't know. Lyndon Wright gotta be the MVP right there. Ended up 5th. Look at Richard. Holy shit. Wow, Richard literally dead. But that is it, guys. Thank you guys for watching these races. I hope you guys enjoyed them as much as I did. And if you did, please sure to give it a like, comment your thoughts on the races, subscribe to be a part of the NNSCRA. And if you want to check out more IBOS action, please not only subscribe to this channel, also subscribe to the main guy who's at it, Seth Cole. I'll give a link down to his channel as well. Till then, see you guys later. I'm out, and goodbye.